Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Important Work. I'm your host, Chris Angel, and I'm here with my guest today, Camille Leon, or Chameleon. As you just gave me that total memory jogger. That's perfect, Camille. Yeah. Hello there. Hello there. How are you?
I am great. I'm even better because I'm on this show with you, and we're going to be talking about important work, and I love that.
I know, right? Like, if you're going to do some work, why not do important work of all things? I know, right?
It's possible for all of us.
It is. So here's what's cool about you. Let me introduce the world to you in the way that I know you. So I joined a chapter locally here in Spokane for the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Actually, you know what? I came and spoke, actually. First, Amber, our chapter president, had invited me to come speak. I spoke and I was like, oh my gosh, like these are my people. Like I want to be around people who think about life and the world and all of these things in a holistic manner. And I just feel right at home in those. And so then I got connected to you, and you are the founder of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce across this great nation and world. So I had to interview you because I feel like Holistic Chamber of Commerce is really important work.
Thank you.
So here we are. Tell me, when did you start the Holistic Chamber? When did you found the Holistic Chamber?
So our official start is actually in October 2010.
No way.
For those of you who are numerologists, I didn't actually plan that. I didn't realize it until after I was into it. We did have a little bit of a beta test period prior to that when we were really thinking about how's this going to look, how's it going to work.
Yeah.
But our first out-of-state chapter was in Texas, of all places, and it opened in 10/10. So as of this interview, we're basically 8.5 years old. OMG.
Wow. OMG. You're based out of California somewhere, right? Where are you in California?
Pasadena.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Pretty much anywhere in California could be defined as somewhere because we all operate that way.
Right. And so in 8.5 years, almost 9 years, like you've grown, like you have chapters all over the US right now, right? And you're growing even more.
We do. We have about 60 chapters in the US, and we have 3 chapters in Canada right now.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Who in your, I mean, I just want to hear it from you. Like, who do you feel like is a good fit for Holistic Chamber of Commerce? If people listening to this were in their cities, who's a good fit for the Holistic Chamber?
So anybody who really self-defines themselves as holistically minded. It really shows up in a wide variety of ways. Right. And it's not specific to any particular type of professional practitioner or business owner. Initially, we attracted a lot of the chiropractors, acupuncturists, Reiki masters, shamans, all of the holistic healing specialists.
Right.
And we've really expanded that. There are holistic approaches to lifestyle and being in business. And so we have like-minded webmasters, like-minded marketing and branding experts.
Yep.
We have some QuickBooks consultants. We have some accountants, actually a few attorneys, believe it or not. We specialize in the oxymoron of how do you combine your money to your work and your love and your values.
Yeah.
Thus, you end up with, we've got some attorneys who are really like-minded in taking that approach and working with their clients.
Oh, I love that.
So I don't just say mind, body, spirit. I say mind, body, spirit, business, budget, planet.
Yeah. I love that because I feel like historically, like, or maybe where it started, the word holistic was, I think, sort of in the health space, in the healing space. And I think that there is when I think of holistic, there's definitely a bigger connotation to that for me. Like I'm a marketer and I think of holistic, like those are the kinds of people. It's a tribe. There's a tribe in that.
The tribe.
And I want to be a part of a tribe that comes from a place of seeing the world as holistic, which speaks for itself. If you get that word, then you get what we're talking about. So
it includes green, it includes sustainable, it includes, approaches to eating, wellness, personal and professional development. It's the whole, right? We talk about the circle. That's really, to me, what holistic is all about is there's room for all of it. And sometimes it's messy and we got to figure out how it fits, but actually, one of our favorite members, I think we have 2 of these now, They operate in the space of happiness. They're motorcycle shops.
That's cool.
So,
Yeah. Wow.
Like once you get your healing, then you want to go have some fun and play. And,
yeah, I love that. That's so
find
good.
your joy. So I think it's a perfect fit for us.
How do people, if people listen to this, I mean, it's a great place to network, I think, because it attracts people that have this common belief or approach to life perspective. So, but I know that you're growing. So how do people start a chapter? Is it open to anybody, or who can start a chapter?
So chapters, it's great. They go to our website and holisticchamberofcommerce.com, and you'll see on the horizontal menu, there's actually a tab that says local chapters. So you can choose to find a chapter or start a chapter. And right now with 60 chapters in the US, as you can imagine, there's plenty of room where we don't have any chapters. So we're looking for holistically minded professionals who want to add a revenue stream to their business and also want to be kind of the catalyst for creating a community where like-minded entrepreneurs, professionals are getting together. It's just a once-a-month meeting. That's all we require. And then some of our bigger chapters are doing a little more than that, but they're bigger. So they've got a support team that's helping them do the extra.
Got it. I love that. I think there is a benefit. I know I started a chapter for another networking organization. So I'm in both. I'm in Holistic Chamber and I'm in something called Master Networks. And there's something when you start a chapter that positions you, I think it's just how we're wired as humans, but it positions you as a leader. Like people just go, oh, well, you're a leader. And I think those of you listening to this that have important work to do, like you are a leader. And so how much better to spread your important work through a group of people that believe in holistic approaches to life and work? Why not start a chapter, I think?
It's a very attractive position to be in. You attract some attention that you don't necessarily attract through your primary business, because people see your primary business as, well, of course you're selling something. Whereas when you're a chapter president for an organization, it's seen very much as a community service. Frankly, one of the things that a lot of our chapter presidents are finding is it's a little easier to get press.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're the president of the local Holistic Chamber of Commerce. So, you know, when things really work in synchronicity, sometimes an article is not just going to be talking about your local chapter, it's also going to be talking about, you know, who you are and what you do. So Chris Angel, you know, founder of the thus and such Holistic Chamber of Commerce, is also owner of Groundswell, for example.
Yeah, totally. I totally get that. That's beautiful. I love that. It is funny how I just think that's how people in our culture relate to people who are up to stuff. Like when you're a leader, people are like, oh, well, yeah, let's talk about them. Well, speaking of leaders, so like, I want to know sort of the heart of what inspired the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, because you have some really great perspective about the medical industry and about sort of some vision of what the Holistic Chamber can do. Like, walk me through some of that perspective.
Okay, so a couple of the seeds, if you will, were my grandmother had a stroke, my mother had a double mastectomy, and I was working in one of those high stress type AA jobs in downtown LA. And if you weren't stressed enough in the afternoon, we had something like 5 Starbucks. One on each corner, and there was actually one under the building. It's crazy. Wow. So let's just keep you amped up all the time. You know, I saw this healthcare writing on the wall for my family, and I was like, not wake up, smell the coffee, and maybe stop drinking it. But just moment of truth here, I do still drink coffee, just not in the same excessive amounts. And
no judgment over here.
Thank you.
I drink coffee too.
So I saw the directory as a way to help mainstream consumers find holistic health and wellness. Our our mainstream consumers, all of my coworkers way back when I asked them for help to find an acupuncturist, they were like, is that covered by our insurance? And well, acupuncture, they use needles, don't they? So like the mainstream coworkers that I had, they didn't even know why I'd be looking for an acupuncturist, much less why I would spend my own money on it. And so that was the seed of our online directory.
Yeah.
And then when you say you're a chamber of commerce, of course, people are looking for live local meetings. Right. And a lot of holistic practitioners who have gotten into work around their passion are not necessarily experts at being in business. Right. So it's how do we connect our passion to we're in business? Because if you can't make money doing what you do, you're going to go back and get a day job.
Yeah.
So let's all figure out how to make money doing what we love to do, helping heal the world, helping the world become happier, not just for ourselves, but for everybody. So just to get back to that bigger question, in the US at least, I would love to see an alternative, if you will, to the American Medical Association. Not a replacement for, but an alternative to, so that people for whom prescriptions don't necessarily work, how do they find a local acupuncturist, chiropractor, Reiki master, coach, relationship expert, and then how do those holistically minded professionals and practitioners, the healers among us, how do they find like-minded business support?
Do you listen to shows like this and think, I could totally do that? You have a longing to connect more genuinely with your community and have a platform where you can play a bigger game. But you never start because either the tech's overwhelming or you don't want more work on your plate, or maybe you're not exactly sure what you would say. Yet you know you have really important things to share. This is why we created a done-for-you content marketing service, helping you give life to the conversations in your head to grow your business and your impact. Learn more at mygroundswell.com.
What was that? You gave me a stat when we talked a while back about the American Medical Association. Like, how many is it? Their members or?
Yeah, it was their members. So they have basically just under 250,000 members.
Wow.
So by the way, for those of you who people tell you to keep expanding the size of your goal, if you want to know my big juicy goal, that's how big we're going to be.
Yeah, it makes total sense, because if there's that much representation for people in the medical, of the medical industry representing for us, right, the citizens of America, 250,000 members of the American Medical Association, of course there's room to grow. Of course there's room to support 250,000 members of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, we're in this together, not to, overuse a dead horse, whatever, but
I like it. Yeah.
In this together. Yeah. And especially for certain specialties and techniques, you have to go in person.
Right.
So it's not, how can I be the only acupuncturist in the HCC for the entire state of California, or even for the entire city of LA? Right. Frankly, when mainstream consumers take some of these techniques really seriously, you're going to be too busy to serve everybody.
Right.
So then let's be connected to high quality professionals that are far enough away that there's coverage all over the place.
I really feel too like when people really embrace the paradigm of holisticness, there is, I feel like I find they're more open to collaboration. It's not as competitive. It's like, look, there's plenty for all of us. If we come from an abundance perspective and not a scarcity perspective, there's plenty of opportunity for all of us. The more the better, because it actually is what creates the groundswell in the world for the health we're talking about.
Yes.
Like if what we're really committed to is changing the world and making a difference in the world, which is what important work does, then of course, like let more people should come play. Let's go. We have a difference to make.
Well, if we want to create a bridge, and I really, a lot of times that's what I'm talking about, is how do we create the bridge between mainstream and holistic?
Yeah.
between these holistic, green, natural approaches and all of those mainstream people who, frankly, they may know that what they're currently using doesn't work, but they don't know what their options are. So that means enough members that everybody can find somebody to help them that's, you know, close to home, close to work.
Right.
Yeah, it is it's a lot about collaborations, joint ventures, and we have, coming out of a lot of our chapters, seen that kind of, you know, it's the synergy, it's the synchronicity of, let's do this together. Yay.
Yeah, I love that. So I love that in the origin story of this, you know, I think good businesses often start because they see a problem and they're trying to fix the problem, right? Like, where is there a directory of all the people who could help my family or my friends with these issues, and nobody has an answer? So let's fix it. Let's create that solution. And I also know that in the process of having an idea, seeing a problem that you're fixing, it's not always just a smooth, you know, path up to success. Like, what were some of the challenges that you had? And how did you get through them?
It's been smooth sailing all the way along.
Right.
Well, you know, I'm so much like so many of our members. Like, I had the seed of an idea that I think initially it was a project, right? And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to start a local only thing called the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. And then I saw it growing, but I didn't really understand that to really support it, it was going to require an investment in technology, right?
Right.
This online directory, which is searchable by location as well as categories, like, that's not the free WordPress website that maybe,
right. Yeah, that takes some development.
Some people can get away with, but we can't. So, and then we kept growing, and it meant I was going to have to hire consultants and staff. Right. And so it was really kind of learning the interaction of costs and income, right? Money, how money plays a role, which is funny, right? Because it's been called the Holistic Chamber of Commerce from the very beginning. So you would think that I would have known fully how the money piece was going to work. But no, so there were a lot of lessons involved early on about that, and also some letting go of control. We have chapter presidents who I've never met in person. And while I hope I get to meet all of our chapter presidents in person one of these days, I just have to recognize that that's not necessarily going to be the case. Right. But this is important work, and it doesn't have to be, I haven't met them yet, so, you know, how do I create something inclusive so that people can get involved, whether or not we, you know, meet in person? And the good news is, in this world where online access is available pretty much all over, unless we decide to turn it off or are really somewhere in remote nature trying to rejuvenate ourselves. It is possible to expand your reach reasonably quickly and reasonably easily, as long as you're kind of keeping your eyes open to other perspectives, other ideas. And frankly, it's also the networking. Like, part of what's going on in our chapters is, gosh, I have this new concern that's come up in my business. I want to do this. How do I do it? I need new ideas because I've never done it before. So I need ideas from people like you. And
it's
right? You get it.
Yeah, so good. Well, I love that. What I've found is, whenever I talk to or interview people who have built something like you've built, it takes something to build a national organization. Like, when you get further down the road, there are always these nuances. That's what I love hearing, because it's like, you can just tell there are things that when you started, you never would have thought of, and you had to grow through those things, and you wouldn't have known how to prepare for it. It just shows up, and now you're like, well, if I'm going to keep going down the road of my important work, like, I either choose it or I get stuck with it, right? I either choose it or I shrink from it.
And some of them, so this was a surprise for me, some of them were personal things. So taking on staff, like, that totally pushed me up against all of my commitment issues. Not that I have any commitment.
Love the transparency. Thank you. Yeah.
Right. There were commitment issues. Those were, rooted in my past and old, but it was old personal stuff. But to take on staff, that's a financial commitment. It felt a lot like a personal commitment.
Right.
And
how did you push through that?
That was totally a surprise for me.
Yeah.
So the way I push through things, this is pretty unique to me. I feel that by facing a fear over here, I can then take that newfound courage and pop it in over here. So I've jumped out of a couple of airplanes.
That's awesome. I love it.
You want to take a leap of faith. You feel like you're taking a leap of faith. Well, then go jump out of an airplane. You'll get to experience taking a leap of faith. By the way,
I love that.
Do not, try this in your living room.
Yeah.
Fair warning, work with professionals. You're signing a lot of waivers when you decide to jump out of an airplane.
I'm sure, yeah.
I've gone, I call it breathing underwater. Other people would call it scuba diving.
Nice.
I've driven a race car.
I love it.
Exotic foods, by which I mean bugs.
Oh, yeah, yikes.
Oh,
wow, I love, that's amazing. What a great, you're right, because I think underneath the surface of that, there is, it's all, courage is courage.
Courage is courage. Fear is fear. It may show up in different areas for you than it does for me, but fear is fear and courage is courage. And
I love that.
And sometimes it's learning by metaphor, right? It's
good.
I'm taking a leap of faith. I'm going to jump out of an airplane. Oh, I landed on my feet. Now I'm starting a business, which is a leap of faith. Maybe on the other side, I'm still going to land on my feet and I'm going to be okay.
Right. Yeah. So good. I love it. Well, I think, if you're listening to this, that's the thing about important work. I think we all have a dream embedded in our soul. We all see some sort of, impact we want to make, a contribution we want to make. And yet so many of us, I think, die with that still in our soul. Like, and what would the world look like if we were all engaged in our important work? It could start as simple as a project. You said yours started kind of like maybe it's a project, fine, start there. You don't have to start a national organization, but start down the road of your important work, because that's the thing that work is hard either way, but when it's important work, you have this extra reserve tank of energy and commitment and fuel that has you go the distance, because just regular work doesn't turn your soul on, but like important work does. And I think that's why I'm so committed to this show, because I want people to continue to entertain, like, what's next for my important work. And I love interviewing people like you.
I do want to add though, I think anything we're doing can be important work.
Good.
We have janitors at our office building. And because those janitors are taking care of keeping things clean, it's important work. It supports what we're doing, what I'm doing. So now I don't know enough about our janitors to know whether they feel like they're engaged with important work.
Right.
But I don't dismiss certain activities just because others would define them as menial or manual labor. It can contribute as much. The CEO is not the CEO if there's not a janitor.
Right.
And frankly, the CEO provides the money to pay the janitor for the work that they're doing. So
that's great. What a holistic perspective, Camille. That's such a holistic. Touche. That's good. I love it. Well, I think for our time, I want to respect your time. I love all that you're up to and what you're building. If people want to learn about the Holistic Chamber, join a chapter, start a chapter, how do people connect with you?
HolisticChamberofCommerce.com. That is really where all of our funnels come and go. If you're looking for a holistic product or service, one of the solutions provided by our many members, there's a directory search, so you can look for our members near you And if you are looking to start a chapter, there is a local chapters page, which will allow you to just submit the chapter application request. Part of the process is you'll get a conversation directly with me just to make sure it really is a good fit and give you all the details. And if it's a good fit, you're going to love it, and it's going to just support your vision and your mission as well.
Camille, thanks for being on the show. I love all the important work you're doing, and I look forward to interactions down the road. So until then, take care.
Thank you.
Do you have important work in the world? We can help you produce a show just like this one and get your message out in the world. Go to mygroundswell.com to connect with us now.